So one of the big changes that came was just a total rework, both from a design standpoint and from a technical end on the Orthomosaic. So if I go create, I go Orthomosaic. Now I can grab this folder here instead of going to actually grab the individual images. And in this case, I've got a folder here that has both mixed IR and wide images. So I'm just going to hit upload. So now I don't have to grab the images. And the other thing that's going to happen here, and I'm actually not going to hit upload because I don't know what the bandwidth is going to do here, but we can see automatically that it processes all of our images. So this is a big step up. We can now we can now interact with our flight path, and we can see right away that Nova's flagging a couple of things here. So one of the things we've got some oblique images. We want to get rid of those. Instead of having to click on each individual image, I can just click here on this button that says oblique images, and then I can come down here and I can go remove selected images. The other thing I can do is, because we're making an orthomosaic, it really doesn't make sense to mix our wide angle and our infrared data. We're going to get a really funky looking orthomosaic if that's the case. So I can now just select, we automatically flag when there are infrared images, and I can go remove selected images. I can also, from here, I can look at my overlap. So I can get a good sense. Green is good. So this shows how many photos are overlapping at any point in time on the map. And so before we upload, I can actually get a really good sense of, the probability of success that we're going to see here.
Matt, we'll answer that and we go. Hey fellas, when making orthos, is there any plan to be able to remove zoom photos and just upload wide as well?
Great question. Yeah. So the platform, Matt, actually, and I didn't have a data set with zoom images, but it actually finds zoom as well as infrared. So if you upload that data set with zoom, wide, and infrared, it's going to flag both the infrared and the zoom images so that you'll be left just with the wide angle lens. Next up, fire perimeter. So we're gonna play make believe here for a second. We're out on a fire. We've just done our day one scan, which is what we're seeing right here. So this is our first scan. It's a really small one. I want to build a fire perimeter. So the quickest and easiest way to do this right now, thanks to the new auto fire perimeter tool, is I can go up to create. I can go down to fire perimeter, and I can click this auto button. So this auto button is going to bring me here, and then I can select the layer that we want to generate the fire perimeter off of. So in this particular case, I want to go day one scan. I'm going to go confirm. We get this little preview of the fire perimeter here. I go confirm, and now I have my fire perimeter. Now, if I want to see multiple fire perimeters across a fire landscape, let's say what we're actually out there doing is on a hotspot map, but we're really just trying to track fire growth. What I can do is I can now hit duplicate. So I get this new fire perimeter up here. And what I'm going to do is, instead of creating a new one, I go update shape. Oh wait, I'll turn on, sorry, we'll say we've done day two scan. Our fire looks different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go update shape. I'm going to go auto. And this time I'm going to use day two scan. So I'm going to go day two. This is the layer that I want to use. Again, we see our preview. And we can now track, if we want, we can now track that fire growth. So if I turn off these two hotspots, we can now start tracking progressively the change in of our fire over time. Let's say we're now here we're out here on day three. The fire's blown out a little bit. Let's not use the auto tool. Let's use our draw tool. So this is really nice now. So I can go update shape. I can go draw, and I can actually, and I'll just do this real quick here. I'm on a touch pad here, but I can actually just draw around the edge and boundary of the fire. I can cross that fire perimeter in two places, hit enter, and it now updates the entire fire perimeter, so we're no longer clicking and dragging. One of the nice things here too is if we've got an orthomosaic, so in this case, we have this orthomosaic here, you can actually just trace this across the boundary of the black and the green. So you can actually see that difference and be able to draw that line exactly where it's supposed to be.
Let's first talk about our buffers. So I can also add internal and external buffers to my perimeter. So if I want to show, hey, what is the 100-foot in from the perimeter as another line, I can add that. To make this outside, I just put a minus sign behind the 100. and now it'll create a fire buffer on the outside of that. I think I've now created these data sets. I kind of have a package that, I either want to create a PDF map, I want to share this map with other people through our share modal, or a lot of times, and as you all know, many agencies are running ArcGIS Online as part of their GIS backend. So what we did is we aimed to build a self-service AGOL integration that automatically pushes data from Nova directly into your AGOL environment. Now from our settings tab in your workspace, there's an integrations button. So I can select my integrations button. You'll see that Esri, there's an option to connect. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to connect to our Nova integrations, Esri login. So if you were just, this would pop up a login page. So you have to have an Esri account. Talk to kind of your GIS team about that, or they might be able to just set up a generic Esri account for the entire UAS program. That's what I'm kind of seeing a lot from some of the agencies we've demoed this with. And I'm going to click allow. This is now going to open up an option for me to select a destination. So at this moment, our destination is web maps. So if I come down, I'm going to select this test one as an option, and I'll touch on kind of some things that are coming soon. But for right now, I'm going to push directly into a web map. So I'm going to update this. So our destination is our test one web map within our ArcGIS Online environment. So right now, you can push over raster data, so our infrared and our visible ortho, as well as hotspot points and fire perimeters. I'm going to select my layer, and I'm ready to push this to our ArcGIS Online environment so Instant Command can have this, the GIS shop can have it on their end without having to download and upload. From our inspector panel, which is kind of like your layer tools panel on the top right here, I'm going to select data. And you can see here there's a button called integrations. Now all I have to do to send this to our ArcGIS Online environment is press send to test one. It shows success. It also shows when this was last updated and by who. This is super nice so you're not duplicating syncs between, because it's a one-way street right now between Nova and AGOL. So this ensures that you guys aren't duplicating syncs of layers. So with this send of my hotspots layer, I sent a fire perimeter, a hotspot point file, as well as my infrared ortho. So the infrared ortho was captured. We don't turn it on by default, but you can select it on the back end here, okay? I can do the same thing with my visible orthomosaic. I head over to data, I hit integrations, and I say send to test one. Okay, success. So now if I jump over to our ArcGIS Online environment, I refresh the page. You'll see that I have now three layers here, or actually four, sorry. I have a fire perimeter day three scan, so that's going to be my infrared ortho, and I'll zoom to this layer. My orthomosaic is currently on top because I sent it after, so I'm just going to throw it below in my layer panel. There we go. So I have my infrared ortho. I have my hotspots file, my perimeter, and my RGB ortho seamlessly integrated into your ArcGIS Online environment. So what's coming in June? For ATAK and tablet command integration, this is coming in June. So really exciting for those TAK users. It will be very similar to my ArcGIS Online integration that I just saw. From the integrations tab in your settings panel of your workspace, you'll be able to connect to a TAK server. We'll then be able to serve up both raster, so orthos, and vector data into your TAK environments. Okay, so that's going to be coming. Tablet command can be currently served through AGOL if you're pulling AGOL web layers into TC and using that as kind of your source of truth. But the more exciting bit is that we're actually going to be adding our live stream into tablet commands interface through their more button. So this has been done a couple times already. So we've kind of got the framework and we're hoping to have it out super soon. But what that's going to look like is a landing page and it'll show all of your active live streams from your workspace, no matter which drone is flying. So you can think you have tablet command running in an engine. You can click the more button, go UAS stream. It's going to pull up a window and you'll be able to see any live streams that are currently being done by anybody flying drones in your agency.
Okay, PDF maps. This is kind of really, so this is a pretty big piece of the platform. I would say that of all the feedback we get, PDF maps and its simplicity is one of the things that folks really like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the create button here. I'm going to come down and I'm going to go generate PDF. You see, we've kind of moved those big white buttons into a list of different features that we can turn on and off. We can also now change the size to up to 36 by 48, 24 by 36. We'll be able to change the color from light to dark. Really just being able to kind of keep the core functionality and the core UI that we had, but just make it a little bit cleaner, broaden the scope, and I think mostly what I'm looking forward to from this is being able to move the legend down to the bottom and move from landscape to portrait. I know especially, depending on what you're mapping, whether that's forestry blocks or a wildfire, sometimes having that, that alternative perspective can really help you fit the information that you want into that map a little bit more effectively.
The hotspot modal is getting a little bit of an update. If I have a hotspot fight, as you can see, I'm going to select, hotspots 1, 1, and now I have a new modal. So I can zoom in and out of this map now. I can turn on my infrared ortho. I can still see the photo where that hotspot was identified. We're adding a y-axis imagram, which is going to be super helpful, right? Right now, we only have the x-axis showing you, hey, the highest concentration of radiometric intensity across every column. Now you'll be able to see that across the Y, further allowing you to pinpoint exactly which hotspot is being reflected in the imagram. Similar attributes associated to each hotspot are seen below: hotspot size, distance to perimeter, the sensitivity. So this is also a nice update. You won't have to hover over the red box or try to find it to be able to see the sensitivity, as well as a copy button for your hotspot coordinate. I've already showed you guys um, that new Orthomosaic upload flow, right? Well, we're going to be bringing that, thankfully, to all the other tools. So Hotspots, Colorfinder, Video, and Panoramas. The Colorfinder tool will be nice. You're actually going to be able to run Colorfinder on existing video files that you've loaded into the platform, rather than having to load them twice. Okay, so we've already gone through July, the Hotspots modal, 3D maps, and Colorfinder V2 are also on the table for a July.